Hello and welcome to this video. We'll be covering the major changes they've made in the most recent update, and then looking at both the Dark Treasure Hunt event in light detail and the dragon that some of you might not have seen yet. It's not going to be a deep dive into everything for this event, as I'm sure most of you watching this already know how to do these sorts of events and are just looking to see my opinion on certain things. If you're not familiar with this event, then make sure you leave any comments down below and I will do my best to answer them before the event is over. Now, there's been some quite big changes to the game, and mainly for the better, but I also have some major points that they've missed or just not thought about, and I'll speak about them a bit later. But before we continue, if you're new to this channel, then you might not know that I actually have a pet giveaway going on, which is free to join, and you can learn more about this in this video here, or just click the Gleam link in the description to be taken straight to the giveaway. So starting off with the updates, we're going to go from the top, and I'll pick off anything I think is worth talking about, and breeze for anything that's sort of worth mentioning. And if there's something I didn't cover and you want my opinion of, then make sure you leave a comment again so I can give you my thoughts on it. So straight away, they've added more levels to the portal, going from 126 to 135. I don't think this is going to really impact many of the people watching this. You're going to need above 23 million to really start considering about giving it a go, but even then I'm sure you're going to fall short. Unfortunately, with the time I'm recording this, I can't see the rewards that you're going to get from these new levels, so hopefully you can get some really good stuff from it and really make it worth your time and effort. Next thing, you can buy folios or talent books for people who don't know what that word means, for Dark Souls and the Portal. But considering it's still over expensive in the main stores except for paying with diamonds, I can't see many people caring about this change. One good thing I will say that they changed is the expedition, and you're going to be able to create a team of 2 and not always relying on a team of 4 to participate. This will make expeditions easier to start and organise in battle between friends, but I still have one gripe with this. I don't like the fact to have to declare what team I'm making at the start. For example, if I wanted to ask my clan to see how many people wanted to join, I'd have to select a team of 4 and just hope enough people join, or I'd have to make a new team anyway for a team of 2. I'd rather if you make a team and if you have 2, you go in with 2. If you have 4, it goes with 4. And if by the off chance you have a team of 3, it should give you the option to remove one friend with a simple X button as you see normally in most games to make it back to a 2-man team, and then send you in that way rather than having to make a whole new team right before it starts, and you could be rushing and sometimes miss it at that point. The next big thing, which I will say is a nice touch, they've reduced the cost of these folios by half when you're paying for diamonds, meaning a legendary book only costs 490 diamonds. Now that might sound like quite a lot to a lot of people, but my weekly giveaways give you 250 diamonds a time if you win, and if you focus on the portal, you can get between another 250 to 500 diamonds as well. So it becomes much more reasonable to do at this point. If you're unsure if talents are even worth doing or don't understand how they work, then make sure you click on my video here for the best information out there. Just before you hit a negative, another thing they've done is actually increase the drop rate of all of these folios. So this means you're going to have an even better chance of getting those legendary talents, and if you want to see me do a drop rate video to see which book's the best one to go for and how many legendary talents you can get from those books, then make sure you like the video to show me you actually want to see this. So on to the last major thing and what I find to be a negative. So here we go. They say they've improved the interface on when you send your squads into battle, but this is what they actually mean. They now show you alliance groupings just before the battle starts, but I still have a few problems with this. It looks messy and certainly unneeded. This would have been great to see in a different variation in the battle report, maybe selecting a tab to see what the enemy has and what you was using, but by showing at the beginning it's kind of pointless. I'm not going to go change my alliances just for one fight. It's okay if I want to know how the weaker person may have beaten me, but again that's looking at the reports after the battle, not before it. Other problems with this new feature: alliances can only be used on people in your barracks. Okay, it's not a problem if you've got 8 people in your barracks and you're just doing PvP fights, arenas or portals, but that's kind of it. Then bays you can take 12 people, dungeons you can take 8, and just like in Clan Wars if the option's available, you can also take 8. But if you don't have an 8-man barracks, you can't actually set up the alliances for these people. So the best case is they get put randomly into an alliance that might work out for you, or worst case they're just there as extras with no chance of new combinations. I get the feeling that they're throwing this new interface in your face to make you have to look at this new alliances and pay for items just to prove that you've got a better team or have a really good setup. But when it looks messy and they don't have a workaround for anyone with a 7-man squad or less, or for people who do the djembe, dungeons and clan wars, it's just kind of getting ridiculous to bring something out early that's not even polished. The only thing they can do to turn this around easily is add a feature where I could hide the alliances back to how it was before, just like if you don't want to see the statistics in the actual battle. Sorry that was a bit of a rant on that one, but we can all see that Huzzard Castle is getting slower, freezing more and just having loads of patches at the worst of times, especially for events. Plus with how things are going, I wouldn't even be surprised if the donkey starts arriving on the dragon's back, and they can come every single week to make sure you buy the best items that you clearly don't really need. You can just wait for another event to come around. But again, that's another rant. Any comments you have on what I just said throughout this video are most welcome. Please don't hesitate, even if it goes against something I said. I just want to know what the community actually think about all these new updates. I'll take a more chilled approach to the next phase of this video, don't worry. So, who's this treasure event for, and is it even any good? Yes, this is going to be a great event for earning loads of resources for everyone around your castle. We're talking loads of gold, items for your workers, and of course gems for your starting lineup. This is one of the only events I would actually ever say to pay for, because I find it has the best money to value ratio of what you get back from events. So if you want to improve everyone around your castle, or have just recently upgraded your throne room, then the treasure events like this one are definitely worth buying the pass and spending some extra time to really get the most out of it. If you haven't noticed the dragon above your castle, then you haven't missed much, but let's have a look at what are the best things to go for if you've been saving up your diamonds for one particular item. So my top choice would be the rapid fire crossbow. I think this is one of the best archer items I think they've ever brought out, in my opinion personally. I might just be a fanboy of it, but with the damage and the attack speed it brings are already a great bonus, and runes go extremely well on rings with this weapon attached. Another great choice is the Power of Sea plate mail, and this is going to be great if you have the Rune of Tenacity attached to it. This will change the item to restore 35% of the owner's max health over 6 seconds when their health goes critical, making them super tanky. And lastly, another great option for Throne Room 10 and below would be the Phoenix Egg. I used to have a lot of trouble with people who use these artifacts, so I know it holds some great value. Now there are some other good items out there, but these are just my best choices this time around. And if you haven't seen, me and my girlfriend are actually playing Far Cry 6, and it's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. We know how to wind each other up, and it can make it into a great laugh, so it's definitely worth the watch. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you leave a like and get subscribed for future videos on updates Hustle Castle brings out in the future. And thank you for watching.